Hello, I'm Mark Baer. You're watching YourTown Television. My guest, violinist Cindy Wu.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Cindy.
Wonderful to be here.
So let's start at the beginning. What's the story here? How did you get started?
So we had a neighbor that was a violin teacher, and she just lived 2 floors above us. So she started my older brother, and I, and she thought I showed promise. So within like 6 months, she recommended me to audition for a school that has a music program, and I got in.
And then, how old are you now?
I was only 6.5 when I first started. And then so the music school started at 7 and just has never left.
Wow. So, and now here we are all these years later, and first of all, you just came from New York to Monterey. So let's just kind of start with the move.
Yes. So actually, we have been in many different places. I lived in New York when I first came to the States, and I moved to Philadelphia and Los Angeles. And my husband and I met in Los Angeles. We moved to New York together because I have a lot of work there, and we have always talked about our dream places to live. And since I travel for work, and my husband, he works from home, so we kind of have the luxury to live just anywhere we want, and we just picked. So Monterey, that's our dream place, and we're living the dream.
You are living the dream, which, and let's talk about the dream, because the dream is not only good for you, the dream's good for everybody. Because you've been doing this series of beautiful concerts in your backyard. And so describe
Yes.
what we're looking at, and then describe what we're listening to.
So you know the Pastures of Heaven, Chorale di Tierra, and we actually have a beautiful view of that. And we are at the end of the road, so we really also have a lot of luxury to make some large sound without bothering too many people. So we, in the pandemic, we actually looked for our home with the thought in mind to have the capacity to do concerts at home. Because while I have been performing a lot, teaching a lot, and also have do some artistic planning for different concert series, but which is actually, I would say it's a passion and a hobby to plan concerts. So in the pandemic, when all the concerts were not happening, and we were just suddenly dealt with so much time and not enough inspiration, so I decided to start concerts in our backyard. And I love programming, creating programs, and I love bringing musicians together. And I also love to introduce music to people in the way music touches me. So that's how it all got started. It was in the pandemic in our backyard. We just started doing concerts for our neighbors. And this year, it's our 2nd season. And then we have expanded a little bit on the number of concerts and the amount of musicians we're getting. And it's been a joyful ride for me.
And you're a pretty modest person. So let's kind of explain the level that this is on. Who's there? So let's just go back to the last one I saw. Who is standing around that
Yes.
playing in front of me 2 feet away?
So all of them are my dear friends, and they're amazing musicians. And thank you for saying I'm modest. I mean, there are things I'm definitely a little more arrogant about, but I think, we have amazing talents that have been coming to our concerts. The last one we had clarinetist Rob Patterson, and he came from Boston. He teaches at Boston University, and he has founded this amazing program called the Clarinet Sessions that has reached like over 30 countries of participants and all over the world. And we had Matt Oshida, and I believe he's the associate concertmaster of the Fremont Symphony, and Liz Pryor, she's the viola principal of the Santa Rosa Symphony, and then we have cellist Oliver Herbert, and he is, I say that, he's rising so good like bread. So he's actually one of the hottest cellists that is developing an amazing career right now. He just won the Avery Fisher Grant, and he has soloed with the San Francisco Symphony. I mean, we're so lucky that these musicians are my dear friends, are willing to come to playing our yard.
So your dear friends, I get to sit 2 feet away from. So I got to play air cello while he's playing, and watch him. And I can't quite explain the intimacy of this. How I'm watching this and I'm looking at looking left and right, and everybody's kind of looking at it and going, this is just, and we're looking out at this beautiful, the pastures of heaven. And I'm going, this is just magnificent. I mean, it's like, this is, and beautiful food
Yes.
that was brought there. And I'm going, this is so, Cindy's bringing civilization back. And everybody's so hungry for it after this year in our heads.
Yes.
That it was just, it was just magnificent. So one of the things that you do that I really appreciate and really believe in, just as a concert goer and an opera goer, you explain the music beforehand.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you need to. I think an audience needs to be cued,
Yes.
so
Yes.
they hear what they hear, or they can miss.
Absolutely. Classical music has been accused of being a little distant. And I feel like, it is as much our job as performing musicians as the audience to be welcoming the challenges. I feel like we have to come to each other. And then so one of the things I have always believed is that some words, because the language of words is something that we have in common, but sometimes the language of music is a little bit more abstract. And so I like to use the language that we have mutually, which is words, to explain a little bit about how this music touches me and how my process of learning this music is. So, and I have heard from pretty much unanimously from everybody that the words help. That when I explain about the music, or just for people to see how I feel about the music, that it strengthens their connection that they have once they listen to the music. And the things that, it's not so much like I explain like the whole history of the background of all the music. Sometimes it can be very simple, like a fun chemistry between instruments, or what it feels like to have this instrument interact with the rest of the instruments. And so I mean, that's a thing. It's just like, you give them a little bit of something to hold on to.
It was well, just I'm going just back to this last concert. First of all, the music, you're picking not the things that everybody already knows.
Right.
And in general, people don't know that much. Even people that think they know a lot
Right.
don't know that much.
Right.
It's a deep subject.
Part of the thing I have like I said, thank you for saying that. I'm a humble person, because part of me, our program, I don't announce the program
Right.
before people actually show up to the concert, and that's a little bit of my arrogance, because I really believe in the musicians I get and then the music we program. And so how I don't explain the program is kind of like for two kinds of music lovers. One of them is the kind that maybe they know music a lot, and then they have a lot of thoughts about which pieces they like, or which pieces they maybe like less, what styles of composer style of music. So I don't want them to be intimidated from coming to the concert, or maybe be put off from coming to the concert by seeing certain pieces they don't like, because I think the musicians I get are going to present the music in a beautiful way, and I'm going to explain how to listen to it. So in a way, like, I feel like if people have any assumptions about the pieces, sometimes it will make them think they will like it or not. And the other kind of audience members I'm thinking about is the people that might not know the music very well, because they'll come here and then be introduced personally by our words, and then we're going to make the music, let them discover along the performance. And I like to actually describe it like an omakase meal. So when you go to a Japanese restaurant and you order omakase, it means chef's choice. And then so you let them take you on this journey of what they think is the freshest ingredient and how they can interact with each other. And that's why I don't like to announce my programs before the concert. And it might start a fun trend of people seeing the title of the concert and guess what will happen.
Well, also, I had the feeling that you guys were really having a lot of fun. So it's, I think it's different if you're audience-centric.
Yes.
I had the feeling more that you're including an audience,
Yes.
but you guys are having the kick of yourself making that music happen.
Exactly. So
And that I love.
that's, you're so spot on about this, because part of the reason I also wanted to start a home series is that there used to be all these musicians, in the history that we have studied, that they have their own home called the music room, or a space of joy. And then one of the composers we played, he had a room toward the end of his life that his son built for him called the Gaudiamus. And that was the room where he explores music. Sometimes because he's a composer, so he presents the works that he has just written, or friends of his that have written new music, and they come together, performing musicians, composers. They explore music together, and they invite their neighbors in to see this journey. So that's exactly why I want concerts in my own home, because it is us having fun, and we want to share the joy with people.
Everything else is stripped away, but
Yes.
everything is stripped away, but the essence.
Yes.
And it's like another level. I mean, I was vibrating after that.
Yeah.
Let's talk also. You have some other. So you're going to have your series. Let's just tell people how to see your series first,
Yes.
and then we'll move on.
So we are called the Sun-Kissed Mozart, and Sun-Kissed with the apostrophe and D at the end. And you can find us at skmozart.com. And our website has all the concert information, and then just how to attend. And basically you can RSVP to come to each concert. And we have 4 more concerts for the rest of the year. So skmozart.com.
Okay, so moving on, you've got other stuff happening.
Yes, so it's actually so exciting. So there is a beautiful, beautiful place in Carmel Valley called the Hidden Valley Music Seminars. And Peter Meckel, this great man that have been doing such great things in this town, he...
for many, 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 many years.
Many years.
Yes.
Amazing. People say just like the most kindest thing about what he has done for this town. So introduced through a mutual friend, he came to one of our concerts last year, and I think he could see my passion for planning music, planning concerts, and showing people what I love about music, with the pre-concert, the talk before each piece. So he asked me to plan some concerts for Hidden Valley. And so we have 2 coming up. One is on November 23rd, 2 days before Thanksgiving. And then the other one is 2 days before Christmas, so December 23rd.
Those will be fabulous.
Yes, and then so they are kind of holiday themed. So both are sort of catered to the time of the year and the holiday spirit and other things, involved. I mean, both are very creative because it's my passion and hobby. So I created 2 programs that are themed for these 2 dates, and it will be a piano trio mix and match. So there will be a violinist, me, and the cellist and pianist will mix and match and present a variety of different pieces of different colors and textures and different backgrounds. It'll be really fun.
Oh, that's fabulous. And then how much are you traveling right now?
Oh, this year, between June and September, I play 36 concerts. I thought that was crazy, because I missed performing so much. So whoever asked me to play and I was available, I was like, sure. And before you know it was like 36 concerts and I could barely breathe. And I went to, I don't know if I can remember everything, but I went to New York City, the Hamptons. I went to Moab, Utah.
Let's stop in Utah for a minute, and let's talk about you going down the barge, playing the violin with your feet in the rivers.
Yes.
I got to have that visual.
Yes, so it is a camping trip. So I've done 2 of these. The first time we did was down the Colorado River. And this time was the San Juan River. And then we are with about 20 plus patrons, and then between 2 and 4 musicians. And then so we use these carbon fiber instruments the festivals have provided for us, and we design our own programs. And so every day we would play 6 in the morning to wake people up from the campsite. And then during the day we'll be on the boat. So we will play on the boat, but actually it was my own idea to instead just play a concert on the boat. I just decided to sit on the side of this I think it's like an air, I don't know what it's called, but there are these rubber air-filled parts that I can sit on top of it with my feet in the water, and I just play every piece I knew. And then so because we rode down the river for about like 4 to 6 hours a day, so when I feel like it, I just took out the instrument and just play for a few hours. And then I remember that the patrons, because I think we had 4 boats and I was in the first one, and as I was playing, they said the sound started bouncing between, and then so at some point they thought there were 2 or 3 or 4 violins playing by the time it got to them.
Oh my God.
And then of course, it's not like I was playing perfectly, because in the carbon fiber instrument, I was sort of, sometimes there are rapids. I have to keep my feet in when the rapids, we were going down the rapids, and then hold on to something. But then, like you're sort of just enjoying, talk about the joy of making music that is not about perfection, that is not about an uptight kind of experience, that it's just that we feel the joy of playing music, and then as I'm playing, and other people get to enjoy, right? And then it was just what an experience. And I wish that there were some videos of me doing this, because I really, they said that it's a first of the festival that someone is actually playing just from the side of the boat as the boat is going like that. So.
Oh my God. Who has more fun than Cindy Wu?
Well, I try.
I mean, you do set a high bar.
For having fun, yes.
Yes. And just before we go, so I've had you in my life. This is one of the great treats of my life, having you and being able to read spoken word and have you play with me. And we're both looking for something beyond the word, beyond the note. Yes. In life, there's a whole bunch of colors and emotions that don't have language for.
Exactly.
And if you can touch that touch us, those touch points that touch us deep.
Yes.
And I think we both have a passion for what is that thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's beyond art. It's into the realm of just pure human magic.
Yes.
And that exploration. And you're certainly
all
down for that.
I've been loving it.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, the last give the last list of concert dates one more time.
Yes. So the Hidden Valley Music Concerts will be November 23rd and December 23rd, and there will be a piano trio program. Both are piano trio programs, and I'm sure there's going to be probably a partnership coming up between me and them, in the future too. So be on the lookout on their website, and or join their mailing list, or join our mailing list too. You'll be hearing about all of these concerts I'm planning.
I think our work here is done.
Thank you so much, Mark.
I'm Mark Baer. I'm with Cindy Wu. You're watching YourTown. We're out of here.